you've been shopping around online or in your local pet store for dog chews, you will quickly realize how expensive they are. High quality dog chews are outrageously expensive right now, along with a lot of things. Inflation is really kind of impacting every area of the market, but certainly pet food, treats, and chews right now. So I make these homemade chews with zucchini. Zucchini is cheap enough to buy. Right now we have a garden, we grow our own garden, so we have an abundance of zucchini that we're growing ourselves. So for me, these dog chews are practically free. They cost next to nothing. And again, if you have to buy the zucchini in the grocery store, zucchini is very reasonably priced. You can make quite a few chews out of one zucchini. So you really are just spending a few cents per chew. So compared to commercial treats, these ones might not last quite as long, but they're healthy for your pet. They're a great option as far as adding some nutrients to his diet if you're looking to give your dog a little extra nutritional boost. And they're cost effective, and they do take your dog a while to chew them up. Our Labrador can chew one up in about 15 to 20 minutes, but our smaller dogs, it takes them about 45 minutes to completely eat one of these chews. These homemade dog chews are the easiest things to make. They do take time because you're going to dehydrate the zucchini. So they're going to need to bake in your oven for 4 to 6 hours. So time consuming wise, yes, they're time consuming, but you really just pop them in there and you don't have to stand there and watch them. You don't have to turn them. You don't have to do anything like that. So really it's just 15 minutes of prep work, and then you just have to be around your house doing chores, doing other things, whatever, while they bake. So I have a cookie sheet lined with parchment paper here, and then I have this large zucchini, and this is a really big zucchini, you can tell compared to my hand. This is one that we grew in our own garden. Typically when you get them in the grocery store, they're not going to be quite this big. I do have medium and large sized dogs, so by the time that obviously as it dehydrates, the slices are going to shrink quite a bit. So by the time they shrink, these are going to be fine for my dogs. But if you have a small or a medium breed dog, you're just going to make sure that, maybe you cut it in half or even thirds or quarters, depending, if you have a really small breed or a toy dog, you might even go quarters to make them small enough. But I'm just going to slice strips. You want your strips to be no wider than about 1/4 of an inch. It's not going to hurt anything if they're a little bit wider, but they're just going to take longer to dehydrate. And as you get your strips, you're just going to lay them out on your cookie sheet. You're going to want to preheat your oven to 200 degrees, which I just did, so you might hear my oven beep any second now when it's preheated. Once your zucchini strips are cut and laid out on your cookie sheet, you're just going to take some olive oil and you're going to brush it on the top of the zucchini. Now I'm going to go ahead and just sprinkle a little bit of turmeric over the tops of the chews. Turmeric has some really great anti-inflammatory properties. It's a good addition to treats for dogs with joint problems like arthritis. Cinnamon is also another healthy spice to use for dogs. Lots of health benefits with turmeric and cinnamon. If you want to know more about why cinnamon and turmeric are so good for dogs, click the link below the video. It'll tell you about the science behind those ingredients and why they're such great superfoods for dogs. And all of the nutritional information for these dog chews are on there. So it'll tell you, how much fat is in these treats, how many, vitamins, nutrients there are for your dog. So that's on there, as well as the full recipe guide, which you can easily print to keep in your recipe repertoire. You're going to bake these at 200 degrees for 4 to 6 hours. Like I said, the thicker they are, the longer they're going to take to dehydrate. So just keep an eye on them. After 4 hours, check on them. If they're not quite done enough, give them another half an hour to an hour. And then, you may need to work your way up to 6 hours if they're thick enough and they need a little bit more time.